Good morning, everyone. It's October the 5th, 2015. Time to kick off a new trading week, and this week's is an auction week for treasuries. They'll auction the 3, the 10, and the 30-year paper this week, starting tomorrow. And the pattern for auctions is to run the market down into the auction. The short end, first day of the auction, is usually up, although you can't guarantee that given what's happened late. Second auction is usually down. That's held true even through the recent changes on the first day, and then sideways to higher on the third day without news. And I think that's where we are right now. Got a B. The market is pointed lower. Support starts at 5, so our first buy is 1 to 5, but I really like the 1 area better. So buy 1 is 1 to 5. That's where support is, but let's circle that 1 area, and that would catch this breakout that came on Thursday from the 129.05 area. They like to retest those breakouts, so leaning against the buck I think is the better trade, but support is at 4.5, 5 as it stands right now. Second buy zone will be 29 to 25. I think the market can trade lower today, especially if the stock market rallies, continues to rally, but not break because of the auctions. Resistance is at 8 to as high as 10.5 right now. Then definitely at 15 to 16. So 11 to 15 will be the band that we'd like to sell. And it might take a 7.5 to get in. Don't know as it stands right now. We have news coming in today. We have Gallup's consumer daily spending. Last month was 89. That was down from 91 the previous month. So they'll be looking to see if that comes down again this month. PMI services at 55.1. All throughout Europe, the PMI services numbers, except for France, were lower than forecast. Labor market conditions at 2.0. Last month was 2.1. And then the markets focus ISM services at 58, which is a very, very healthy number. Hard to see how they can get that kind of a number, given what's going on in manufacturing and the rest of it. Those are the numbers. So Gallup's personal daily consumption, we'll get a hard look. Then the ISM services number will be anxiously awaited. If the EMini continues to rally today, I imagine that treasuries will be, that's where the pressure will come from. The inverse relationship continues. Looking at the 30-year, separating out London. Resistance is at looks like 12 to 15, so 11 to 15 is sell 1. Then 23, 27 sell 2. On the buy side, the breakout on Friday came from 58.01, so 29 to 01 is buy 1. And 17 to 21 is buy 2. The knob spread is coming in, and that gives you extra volatility in the 30-year. Okay, gold. It's off a little bit. Selling picked up in London. Globex found its high at 39. We had this spill. Last rotate up at 33.5. So Sell 1 is going to be 33.35. Then our 38 to 40 will be sell 2. The buy side, we had this breakout from 28. So we're going to put 25.27 buy 1. May have to pay up, and then 19 to 21. I think this market is going to sell, especially if equities rally today. And the equity rally is things are so bad that central banks have to do more quantitative easing. Interest rates can't be raised. The United States will not be able to raise their interest rates anytime soon. And I think that's, I mean, for those that are really close to this, I think that's just pretty much assume that they can't raise interest rates. When you get right down to it, they can talk about it. And well, Fed governor came out and said as long as second half growth is at 2%, the Fed can raise interest rates. Yeah, we'll see if that actually happens. Okay, looking at the euro. Dollar's down. You know, it's kind of like every other day. The dollar's up, the dollar's down. And the euro managed to make it to our 113, which is where we like to sell it. So we're a few ticks above Friday's close. We were able to get up to that last rotate up in G period. Get stops above that. So 1300 is support. 1200 is resistance. 1200 is support. So we're currently at 38. So 50 to 60 is sell 1. 90 to 113 even is sell 2. On the buy side, 112 even buy 1. Then 1175 buy 2. Okay, Saudi Arabia discounted their crude $3.20 a barrel. China snapped up all they could buy. Large crude carrier rental rates jumped over 100,000. They've been below that as China moved to get as much oil as they can at these prices. And what happens is that when Saudi Arabia defends their market share through price discounting, which is what they've been doing, then the bottom falls out of the market. So that's what's taken us from $100 plus down to this 45 area. Sell 1, 46.25 to 46.50. Sell 2, 46.75 to 47. We got a seller over 47. The buyer's been below 44. Buy 1, 45 and a quarter, 45 even. And 44.25 to 50 for buy 2. And this is kind of an anomaly. I mean, we know that Saudi Arabia has discounted their prices, yet crude is up a little bit. So what we do know is that people are driving more, people are buying bigger vehicles. We know that demand is going up for crude oil because of the prices. Economic law does work eventually, depending on how much you mess with it. And eventually this is what will turn the oil market around. Okay, the EMini is up, and every market in the world is up. The EMini was up 200 points. S&P was up the Dow was up 200 points on Friday. The United States led the buying. Bad news is good news. Fed can't cut interest rates, and the market rallies. So let's go take a look. I think at the first of the year, Jeff, but they're already moving cargoes out. Nobody's going to stop them, but officially the first of the year when all sanctions are lifted. Okay, taking a look at the EMini, where might resistance be? So if we get through this B area right here, which is at 70, then the next spot will be X in this little two-letter ledge right here at 90. So we've got 70, then we've got 90, then we've got the high of 2010. And we're at 1959 right now. So we got a dent up at 64, 65. We're at 58. So the first sell will be 60, 65. Then 70, 75. And several things come in there in the 70 area. The buy, London's low, last rotate down was 42. We're at 58, so 45 to 50 will be buy 1. And then 35 to 40 will be buy 2. And the market's higher, but not for the right reasons. It's just bad news is good news. Buy it. And that's the problem with indexes. Some days bad news is bad news. If the market's been rallying for a while, that tends to be the case, where bad news is actually bad news. So you never quite know how the big guys are going to play it, and they never show us their order book before the market opens. So today's news, once again, Gallup consumer spending last month was 89. Markets PMI service at 55.8. Labor market conditions at 2.0, down 1/10 from last month. And ISM services, which is the market's focus, 58. I think that ISM services number could come in lower than forecast. So we'll see if that happens. Be back with you as soon as possible. Got plenty to do in a bit.